Hello. I can't get rid of my microphone just being in this place. I kinda wanted to go like this, but I don't know. I kinda like it over here a lot more. Stacy, what the fuck? Why is your microphone so big? I still have not remembered to turn on my Twitch chatbot, so we're just gonna, do it without the Twitch one. My YouTube one is logged in, it's working. I just always forget to reconnect my Twitch one. My fucking Twitch. Oh, hello, Kasukas. I hope I didn't stream anything illegal. Good day, Kasukas. We gotta continue with the homosexuality. If everything goes well, we're gonna finish today. Probably.
Okay, I have a feeling I'm about to get into some heavy business. Are you
Business,
sure I'm ready for this?
motherfucker.
I'm ready for whatever might happen.
Do you like the mouse being on the screen? Look, it's here all the time. There's no way to get it off.
Took you long enough.
It still works.
Of course it still works. Otto over-engineers everything.
Cruller, I think that's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
Otto, you're looking well fed.
Ford, you sound like your old self.
Well, some things are clear to me now that weren't before. But come on, there's a lot to be done.
Ford! Ford, is it really you?
Cassie! Compton!
And Bob.
Compton's superpower is being gay.
I'm...
No, these guys are gay.
happy to
Oops.
see all of you again. What's Nick from the mailroom doing here?
That's actually Helmet Fullbear's brain in Nick's body.
I do love making a grand entrance.
Sounds like Full Bear.
He's in there all right. But where have you been?
You don't want to know that.
I've missed you so much, Big Bear.
I never thought I'd see everybody together again.
Well, almost everybody.
Hey, I remember this place.
Grandma, I love
We
you.
used to sneak in here and fool around on the beanbags, remember? Lucy.
I love grandmas. They're very cute. Look, it's Satan hiding behind the rock. We should go to Iraq and just kill everyone.
Everybody ready? Now, this hunk of junk was made by Auto Mentalis. So, there's no telling what might happen.
Oh, what can I say? I was underfunded back then.
But if everything goes well, we might be able to have our dear friend Lucretia back in the circle. For good. Now, you ready?
Kind of.
Me too, kid.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to present to you the high-flying, death-defying, ironically named Aquato Family Circus. Augustus, Donatella, Dion, Crazy, Rasputin, Murtala, and little baby Creepy.
That's me.
And the most important member of the family, one who's been here the whole time. Nona Aquato, right where she belongs, in the heart of her family.
What is this?
It's a mental construct I made for Lucy to convince her that she was your grandmother and that she lived with you. Come on, it's time to get her out of here.
Ew.
What did you step in?
I don't know. It looks like a puddle of goo. With a mask of me in it.
Has anyone seen my brother? He was just standing here a second ago.
Here he is.
Oh, well, come on, Raz. It's showtime.
You better play along with this, Raz. We don't want to upset the construct until we have control of the situation. I'll work on Nona.
Oh, fuck.
Hurry up.
First try, baby.
That's my boy. Finally. Oh, good boy. Oh.
It is very fun.
It's
Kinda
something
difficult
you
though.
don't have to worry about anymore.
Step right up to the wheel of endangerment and behold the daring father-daughter team of Crazy and Augustus Aquato. One will live, one will die. Maybe. Who knows? Only one way to find out. See the strongest boy on
Fuck.
earth, Creepy Aquato, as he lifts weights that are, frankly, quite alarming.
Queefy. I thought this was a hard surface, you know.
Be a big girl and throw knives at daddy.
I just don't feel good about it after last. Careful, Raz.
Ah, Raz, my boy. Ah, that knife is going.
That's right.
Come on now, the fans are waiting. You did it, my boy. You're my favorite son now.
Wait, what was that?
Wow. Flea Dad tells it like it is.
Okay, my turn to throw knives at Dad. Not the most functional family. But at least they're all alive.
I am the best son confirmed by the flea dad.
youngest performer, Queepiaquatl, in front of the Carousel of Chaos. Watch him lift a horse and your spirit.
I don't understand.
It should be illegal for children to work in the circus. Because they're just so cute. They steal the show. Come watch Queepiaquatl perform feats of strength in the carousel area and see what I mean.
Right.
See the strongest boy on earth, Queepiaquatl, as he lifts weights that
Queefy?
are frankly quite alarming.
Queefy, that must be me.
Come join our youngest performer, Queepiaquatl, in front of the Carousel of Chaos.
I
Watch
think
him
I
lift
haven't
a
done
horse
something.
And your spirit. It should be illegal for children to work in the
We're
circus.
gonna die. Because they're just so cute.
They steal the show. Come watch.
What?
Quatl perform feats of strength in the carousel area.
Yeah.
See what I mean.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Why can't I grab her? Oh, right. Didn't even notice.
Aw, the ride's over. Let's do it again. Time for my amazing show of strength. Oh, phew. The children are safe. Good job, Rasputin. Okay, all the children are safe. No, I will show you my little secret. Come with me to the high dive.
Is this like old people pornography or something?
This nugget is saying to me, take me away. Oh! Yep.
Is this the wrong ladder? No, it's the right ladder. It just goes on and on now. This music sounds Jewish.
Nona! What are you doing?
Getting out of here. You're coming with me.
Nona! Oh no!
Nona is dead.
What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
Cool.
Ford, our circus didn't have a quilting area.
I didn't make this. I created that two-bit flea circus to make Lucy forget who she was. but it looks like she escaped.
Come on, Crowley, Stinky Dam is over this way.
Wow. Guess you learn a thing or two when you live with fleas.
That don't make no damn sense. I'm dead. It's okay.
Yep. I'll take this nugget.
I really needed that. Oh. Nona's call for help. Oh no, I got my feet wet with my wolf shoes. I'm a girl and look, this guy can, you know, do that. And so there's a bearded woman and everyone's balancing. Oh, so this guy, this nasty sneaky guy offers this young boy globalism. And then it turns out that the man was a Jewish person. Who would have thought?
What's this?
It's Lucy
Dex.
and your father. Well, this must be one of the first real memories she formed after the astrolabe procedure. Your father was put into an orphanage after his parents were drowned. I locked Maligula away, deep in Lucy's mind to make Lucy herself again. But then I got your father out of that orphanage, buried some of his more traumatic memories, and brought him to her.
Why?
Well, they were both all alone in the world, the only family the other had left.
My sweet little Gussie. Let's keep moving.
Wait!
So that's what it was.
Ah,
I
here's
really
the
needed that.
Hatbox tag.
Dude, these levels are so seamless. It's amazing. We can emulate this shit in real time. It doesn't work, of course, but you know, there's like an idea of it. It lags too much. Oh. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Do I need to do something with it? No.
This would be a sweet picture if I didn't know everybody was under some sort of astrolabe hypnosis.
I never used the astrolabe on the rest of the family. These are real memories Lucy made for herself after I was gone from her life.
Good family, excellent balance, very flexible. Not afraid of heights. Not like you. Hey, Crowley.
Lucy, please!
That's so weird but cool, like this story. I really dig it. I need this so bad. I can probably just skip it now. And so everyone died at the end. Except for that guy. That's the sneaky neighborhood's pedophile.
You were the one who gave me the pamphlet to Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp? You're the reason I became a psychonaut?
Well, it is either you or Crazy, but you were such a nerd with those comic books.
Hey, True Psychic Tales is a graphic non-fiction periodical.
Some part of you knew you were living a lie. You sensed Raz's power. You thought he could help you.
Oh, I don't know, Crowley. I get so confused sometimes. Usually I was happy, just so intense and stretching the children, telling them to stay away from the water. Then I'd feel so sad. And just when I was about to figure it out, everything would start to unravel. I forgot how much I hate this place.
This is it. This is where I locked up Maligula. Behind that dam. We need to unlock it and draw Maligula out into the open. Then we'll combine our powers and direct the astrolabe to blast open a pit into the deepest part of her mind.
Why don't we just, blast Maligula?
Maligula is a part of Lucy's mind. A primitive part that may have helped her early ancestors survive. We all have our own Maligula, Rasputin. We just know how to keep it locked up down below. If you can secure the area while I keep Lucy calm, then we should be able to unlock this dam together.
Let's kill ourselves by unlocking Maligula. That seems like a good idea.
Raz, I need to stay here with Lucy. Once you reveal the lock, we'll blast it.
Man, watch it.
Fuck.
Just a bit longer.
My baby!
I appreciate the positivity, but this enabler is not doing anybody any real good.
Fuck.
Let's see how tough everybody is now.
Council must not badger the gavel! Let us adjourn for the day.
Rip a bunny.
I'm sorry. So sorry. me.
Okay, let's see what's causing this bad mood.
Now, it's all right, Lucy.
I think I need to figure out what's causing it.
Konnichiwa, Nichan, hello.
Great job, Rez. Now, open that locket, and we'll use the astrolabe to blast it.
Now open up that
I
locket
think I
and
hear
we will
some
fuck it.
emotional baggage nearby. This guy needs a duffel bag tag.
Oh.
Yep. Oh, what's that sound? I think I hear something. Oh. It's a locket.
It's my sister, Marana. But...
Help me focus the astrolabe, Rasputin. Quickly! Fire!
We might have made a mistake.
I think we made many mistakes. But now, we're gonna face them. I couldn't before. I was young, scared, and alone. But now, I'm only one of those things. Oh, we've grown. Let's hope the astrolabe can make a deep enough pit.
Don't worry, Ford. I'll be right here beside you.
Why did Rasputin get ejaculated? There was a disturbance in the force.
Jackpot! Bullseye!
Nice, Kaisukas, we did it. 9/11.
I felt her. Maligula.
I know the identity of the mole.
That's incredible, Sasha.
Well, I had mechanical assistance, which you didn't need.
Agents, we have a security breach in the Green Needle Gulch.
She's here.
It's okay. You're safe.
What happened? We were...
You were obviously in distress, so I pulled you out. Is that... her?
I told you he was up to something out here with his girlfriend. Maligula.
That's not his girlfriend, you little snitch.
Oh, fuck.
I'm his girlfriend.
My God!
Oh yeah, funny story. That's not really Nick from the mailroom.
I know that, but why? Doesn't matter. I'll take it with me when I take her.
Quick, we need to increase our ranks. It's the only way to kill Maligula. Projectile dysfunction.
I've been following my dad for a while, and he's acting really weird.
Not crashing anymore? No, it only happens. Do you want me to crash it?
Give me a sec. I'll figure out a plan.
Okay.
Basically, when you go to this inventory... Wait. This one, right? And when you click on one of these items, then it crashes. Do you want me to? Nice, fuck
Lily!
it.
Raz, listen. I've been following my dad for a while, and he's acting really weird.
We need to get to the bottom of this.
How?
I love your dad.
Let's get Sasha and Mia to help.
But my dad might be gone by the time we get back.
I need to see what's going on inside his mind. I need to go in. Into the Grand Head.
You're right. We do.
Wait, what?
You're not going to make me do this alone, are you?
Turns out the real Maligula were the friends we made along the way.
Wow.
Jeez, get over yourself, Dad. What the heck?
Right. Let's split up and compare notes in a bit.
This is just...
Yeah, I wanted to make that joke, but you know, I've been making that joke too much, so it's like I'm afraid that people will think that I am like that, which they wouldn't be wrong. That's a cool t-shirt.
Lily, take it from me. All dads are weird. I guess he's really proud of his diplomas.
Then why doesn't he hang them up in his office?
He's secretly proud? I don't really think of your dad as a vain man.
He's not!
Hey, his statue!
Careful, Raz. That's still my dad.
What's inside your dad's asshole?
I think there's something under it.
Yeah, more plaster.
There is a worm inside your dad. It's a statue of Stalin.
Whoa, Lily. Your dad was a really big fan of Nick from the mailroom.
Well, most people are. Except my dad. My dad once told me he thought Nick John Smith was an obsequious little lick spittle.
Lick spittle?
That's how my dad talked. My real dad. Raz, this isn't my dad's mind.
Lily!
Oof.
Hey, you kids! Get off that carpet. VIPs only.
If it's not your dad's mind, whose mind is it?
His.
Okay, that makes sense.
Nick's brain is missing, but, I mean, Nick?
Make way, common folk. Make room for Zazarovich Crystal Malik, future Tsar of Grulovia.
Wow, this guy has an ego, doesn't he? He sorts the mail and he's
Nick
like...
is the Zazarovich?
I can't believe it. What's a Zazarovich?
The missing heir to the throne of Grulovia. He lived in exile with his family after Maligula destroyed the capital. Why
It's
is
kinda
his
like
brain
Bolsheviks.
your dad's body?
And where is my father's real brain? Come on, let's make him talk. Come on, he's getting away.
What if they...
Official business.
What if the Japanese turn her dad's brain into a sex toy and now some weeb is fucking it?
Pardon us. Hey, no cuts. Hi, can we get on the ride, please?
Did you two cut in line?
We're VIPs.
Oh, does that stand for vertically impaired preteens? It's for your own safety. Come back when you're older.
Okay, we're older. Check us now.
Oh man, how long have I had this job? I gotta get out of here. Sorry, Grolovians only.
What? You can't.
It's okay, Raz. Go.
It's okay, it's
Don't
sexist.
worry. I have a plan.
I will tell him he's sexist and I will call on the Twitter feminists so he could lose his job.
Now,
Hey!
follow that czar.
Damn, this is just like Russia. Whenever you go to Russia, you see this. I've never been to Russia. Cool.
The glory of Grulovia. Never had a nation been more prosperous, its people more content.
I have a feeling that they are actually referring to
Never
Russia.
was a royal family more beloved than the Maliks, Tsar Theodore, Tsarina Rokal, and the young Zazarovich Crystal.
I'm not entirely sure, I might be wrong.
The nation looked forward to the happy day when Crystal Malik would legally and
Yeah, they are
rightfully inherit his
100%.
father's throne. But alas,
Tsar,
that
the
was
loss
not
of the
meant to be.
throne, Bolshevik Revolution.
The Tsar's Minister of War and Protector of the People, General Maligula, had aroused the jealousy of the warmongering
The lost hair.
What the?
He led his mob of Psychonauts to gang up on Maligula, drowning the brave warrior.
Just when I thought I'd heard every version of this story.
And drowning much of Grulovia in the process. Why didn't the Tsar help Maligula in her time of need?
This is how Soviet propaganda worked.
Historians agree it is Tsar Theodore's biggest failure.
So it's a very clever
In the end,
commentary.
Grulovia, the Maliks, and Maligula were betrayed by the weakness of the Tsar and the bloodlust of the Psychonauts.
The winning side always writes history, you know, so... During Soviet times, a lot of history was either not spoken about or just, you know, lied about. To make Bolsheviks seem like, you know, like they freed the nation from Tsar, etc.
Hey, Raz. I'm watching you on the control panel here. Why'd you stop?
This door won't open. What happened to the ride operator?
He, had an accident.
Looks like there's an electrical problem up above the ride.
Okay, I'll drain the water so you can get up there. If you can fix it, I should be able to get the ride going again from here.
Check.
And it's also like referring to the idea that, you know, since there was the Cold War and like the Western psychics or whatever these guys are, they're like fighting this woman, right? So in this side, in Grulovia, this woman is considered like a saint or whatever, so it's the opposites, you know. It's very clever what they did. I need it. No, I don't. Fuck it. Tsar was killed in a cellar. In a collar? Yeah, Tsar and his whole family got shot. Like, they were in a photo session or whatever, and Bolsheviks just killed them and the whole family. I think they killed, like, the children in front of the Tsar or something. But it seems like modern day Russians really appreciate the Tsar and, you know, remember him in a nice way. But Soviets really hated, like, the Tsar and his family because they were considered bourgeois, you know. The enemy of the state, like, they were rich and shit. They didn't want to share with people and stuff. Which, you know, there is some truth to it also, considering how shitty the Russians lived and how little they had and how many of them starved. Compared to the Western countries back, you know, then Industrial Revolution was already happening and Russians were still just farmers. And they, like, the Tsar and his family weren't really interested in modernizing. So it was also their flaw, you know, not keeping people too happy. So it was easy to unite people against the government of the Tsar. Because everyone wanted free shit. Alternatively, the same happened in Lithuania during, you know, like the 90s and the revolution. Like, I don't know if you can call it, I guess you can call it the singing revolution. But the people in Lithuania believed that we would be living like Swedes or the Western people like in 10 years or in 5 years. So they were like happy about fighting the Soviet government because they had a promise of better life, which I guess kind of turned out to be true, but not entirely.
Here's the Hatbox tab.
It's very complex, but yeah, that's a very common psychological tactic used in nations and peoples, you know, a promise of better world, of change and stuff.
Huh. This is not how I heard this story. Then again, I'm not sure who to trust anymore. Hey, Ford. Think you can help me up into those rafters?
Which, you know, kind of also makes sense. Whenever we elect a new government, we always trust and believe that there's gonna be some change and, you know, better tomorrow is gonna come. But it never does. So, you know, the hatred of the past government always gets replaced by the hatred for the new government. And people's rights keep getting stripped away. Government after government.
Angels?
Fuck.
Really hoping you guys would rise to the occasion.
Yeah, this airplane basically represents the Western world or whatever. I think this is all a reference to World War II and whatever. Or even Cold War, I mean. It's probably a reference to Cold War, most likely. Why are there no Nazis in this game?
Okay, did that fix the problem?
Looks good, Raz. Get back on the ride and I'll start it up again.
Damn, Lily, you're fucking hot.
Finally found the right button. Here we go. Oh wait, no, it's not right.
That's not right. That's not right at all.
Okay, found the right one.
How do you know for sure?
I love how they're wearing Russian ushankas. You know, those hats. That guy is just stuck there now. Oh, there it is.
Okay, sorry. This button for sure.
Stop pressing buttons!
I sentence you to death!
Oh, fuck.
Stupid enabler! No good! They're under that enabler's...
Enabler sounds like a N-word.
Nope! That enabler is making it impossible to do any damage!
I'm getting my ass kicked.
Ow! Okay, now it's a fair fight.
Shit, wrong button.
Never touch a judge's gavel! This trial!
What the fuck? I'm getting my ass kicked.
I better eat a Psypop before I run out of mental energy.
Let's use the Psypop.
Thank you for the mental energy, Psypop.
Another one. Nice.
Psypops, delicious and packed full of mental energy.
Oh, another button.
No, wait! Get me out of Barovia.
Hang on.
The same communism, just with the extra steps. Yeah. It's tyranny, it's tyrannical, you know. Tyranny takes up many forms. You can have a tyrannical king. That would be a tyrannical monarchy. You can have a tyrannical... Basically, communism is almost inherently tyrannical. Whenever you have a communist revolution, you know, the party always ends up being tyrannical. Because Marx wrote communism that way, that, you know, pretty much there's no free thought, no opposition and whatever. Everyone is forced to be good and equal, like, I guess ideologically, that's the idea, you know. You use army and police and KVD and secret police to get rid of opposition and just make everyone equal through force, which, you know, that's retarded.
Lived in the ocean?
On his deathbed, Tsar Theodore gave young Bristol, who had suffered so much, a small ray of hope. He told him that Maligula, protector of Grulovia, was still alive.
And she's my fake grandma!
No one heard from her. Surely Ford Crawler and his psycho spies must have her captive. Crystal Malik bravely decided then and there to find her, to undo his father's
Oh yeah, and this also
restore Maligula, the Maliks, and all of Grulovia to power.
Hey!
reminds me of North Korea and the tour guides there.
Sorry, closed for maintenance. And for the glory of Grulovia, or whatever.
What's the holdup?
Hang on, I gotta talk to a guy about a door. Excuse me, but this door over here?
Sorry, busy.
Busy with what?
Propagandaneering. I'm creating a future chapter in this glorious, semi-interactive, location-based epic. This treasure room tells the story of how once the Zazarovich finds Maligula and restores Grulovia to its former glory, the people will all share in unimaginable riches. But it's missing something. Not sure what.
Like something to go in that big egg cup in the middle?
Yeah, something there.
Like maybe an egg?
That's it! See, sometimes you just need a fresh set of eyes. Hey, you get me a big, beautiful, luxurious egg, and I'll use my pass to open that door for you.
Deal! Hey, where do they keep the big eggs around here?
Crystal told me the best eggs he ever found were out in the ocean, whatever that means.
Yeah, even this music, like, it really reminds me of communism. Like, you know, those children singing, you know, they were called like spaliukai in Lithuanian. Basically, they were like communist scouts, right? And they were all deep into party life and, you know, just attending parades and, you know, being forced to do labor, like go to farms, communal farms and farm stuff. And it's like everyone had to do it, and, you know, the communistic choirs of children singing about how great the communistic Russian state is and stuff, and, you know, there was propaganda everywhere and everyone were forced to, you know, follow that propaganda in school and everywhere else. Kind of like with, you know, leftistic ideas and ideals in the Western world. Communally, yeah, kind of the same like what Hitler had, the Hitlerjugend and stuff, you know. It's quite common in, not entirely like fascist, but in governments overall. Like, it's very interesting because, you know, back in the day you had this idea what a man was supposed to be. Like, your parents would take care of you, like teach you how you could take care of animals so you could live in a farm, and, you know, they would teach you all the values that you needed to grow in the farm. But later the state took over that. You know, in communistic times, the state taught children how to be communistic from the youngest age, so that they would grow up and, you know, they would be extremely loyal to the communistic nature, politics, and party. You know, loyal to the nature of communism, not like the nature, you know. But yeah, communists really wanted to brainwash the children, especially so that they would, you know, be atheistic. They wouldn't have free thought, and they would be good workers, and that they would hate like capitalistic ideals, and, you know, I guess to be an equality. But then they lived in a shitty world where nobody had anything and everything belonged to everyone. It fucking sucked. Like, imagine just living in a world where you hear 24/7 propaganda about, you know, how great your nation is, and then you just look outside and it's all dirty, and most people are just eating horrible shitty food, and there's no free choice, so you're forced to always eat potatoes and, I don't know, peas or whatever, you know, happens to be in the shop at that point in time. And in the Western world it's kind of also like that, you know, but it's like the Western world nowadays indoctrinates children to be tolerant and gay and extremely equal to everyone. So the nation is growing up the youth that is all about equality and being gay and being weak, and, you know, not being able to take care of themselves, and just people who aren't, they're trying to grow up docile people who are incapable of free thought and incapable of, you know, opposing the narrative and opposing what the government wants from them. So, you know, the parallels are there. And, you know, in Nazi Germany, children were taught a lot of more useful things, like how to survive, and I guess that also happened like in Soviet Russia, you know, when children, even to this day in school, they're taught how to disassemble an AK, automatic Kalashnikov, right? They're taught how to, well, in Russia at least, everyone hates, well, at least they used to, you know, hate gay people, and that idea of being gay, and everyone would see that idea as a weakness and homosexuality as a wrong, terrible thing. But then once you go to jail or the army or whatever, everyone would fuck each other in the assholes to assert dominance. And like, shit's fucking retarded. So it seems like in most older people, like in our parents and whatever, they hate gayness so much because they were indoctrinated that being gay was not normal. You know, they were indoctrinated that being gay was a weakness. Like, if you're gay, you're gonna get fucked in the asshole, and you're gonna be a weak person who's incapable of resisting. So, you know, being called gay in that environment and in that society was seen as the worst fucking possible thing, because that would mean that, like, in society or in army or wherever you go, like, you're the bottom bitch, like in the prison. It was all, Soviet Russian was pretty much a giant prison in a way. And in the Western world, everyone is so fucking obsessed with gay people that everyone is trying to be gay. Like, naturally, homosexuality appears in 0.5 in the percentage of the population, I guess, if you believe in science and all that bullshit that they spew every day. So, but now in America, 5% of Americans associate themselves with LGBT community. So that means that through propaganda you can increase, you know, or brainwash people into believing that they're gay. And in a way, it seems like it's a lot more beneficial if you're an American or a Westerner for you to be gay. So everyone is trying to be gay, because, like, there are celebrations about being gay. Everyone's fucking gay all the time, so they could post on Facebook about how fucking gay and special they are, and then everyone's like, we celebrate you because you're so fucking gay, you know? So in Russia it was seen as a negative thing because you were the bottom bitch. I guess in Soviet Russia power was right, might made right, you know? Who was the most powerful, the most manly, was the most respected, kind of like it is in nature in a way. But then again, like politically and their economical system was unnatural. It was utopian. And then when it came to ground level humanity and people all around, they were kind of like fucking, you know, I'ma go back home and beat my wife or whatever, and they were all like these macho, this false, they took over this false image of masculinity. And it's very interesting when you think about it. Like, it's pretty obvious how Soviet Union viewed gay people and how, you know, the Western world views gay people also. But the thing is that maybe, you know, the Soviet Union didn't want another revolution to happen through gay people or, you know, whatever, because, you know, that's how you unite, and in Bolshevistic terms, that's how revolution appeared and happened in the first place, and that's how societies collapse, through hedonism, through looking for better orgasm, through drugs or sex or perversions or whatever. So, you know, that's very interesting, because United States and the Western world is in the stage of collapsing from within through gayness, and Soviets tried to prevent that from happening, but they collapsed in another way. Like, all cultures through history usually collapse when they have a lot of resources and when hedonism takes over the society and everyone becomes just high all the time, one way or another, through drugs, through perversions, or through, you know, self-righteousness, like, you know, fighting for causes that don't really exist, like fighting against racism in America where there's no racism, or fighting for, I don't know, gay rights or women's rights where everyone has rights already, you know? It's like fighting with stuff that doesn't exist. So it's also kind of like part of self-masturbation and self-ejaculation the Western world is stuck in. So that's very interesting, and it's gonna lead to its collapse, but it's a cycle, it's unavoidable. But it's very beautiful to see how little people actually studied in school. If one thing that, you know, the social media has showed me, I'm just gonna, you know, throw my thoughts out there, is that nobody ever studied in school, and they don't remember anything because they never try to. Because if you have a good memory, you know, the ideas and the things that you read in the books back in the day nowadays might be changed and banned in the internet or in Wikipedia. You might read stuff that is not true, like that you learned in school. So that's also very interesting, you know, how they manipulate and change information and everything else. But it's part of broken society, you know, when you cannot access science truthfully and history and everything else. Like when big pharma or whatever, you know, wins with their medicine when you have better like health alternatives from nature and stuff, and nobody wants to tell you about them. Or, you know, this certain diet that used to work for your ancestors for thousands of years nowadays is considered like bad, like milk, dairy and stuff. It blows my fucking mind, because our ancestors, they had cows most of the time and they mostly ate diary, like products made out of that stuff, you know. So everything is very relative, and you know, the way the government, the Western government, controls their population is pretty much the same as communistic government, you know, controls population. But it's not really communism versus fascism versus nationalism versus democracy, whatever. It's just tyranny. It's tyrannical. There's basically no freedom. There is no freedom of information. There is only one-sided ideology being pushed, and there's no free thought. And it's very interesting to see. And you know, probably most humanity and, you know, most of the world really deserves what's going to happen. Nobody wants to learn from, you know, mistakes of the past, and even if they do know the truth, nobody wants to rise up because they're all living comfortably. And then again, if you try to like form your own segregated society and, you know, work for it or build up your own society from the scratch, there's nowhere left to go in the world. Like there's literally nothing you can do. It's very fascinating how our ideas and ideologies and our reach for the best systems, you know, humanity's best systems in the world, they kinda always led and leads people to be oppressed, which is very sad and fucked up. Freedom doesn't exist when you implement laws for everything, you know, even to protect your society or whatever. You will sooner or later, you will end up with a tyrannical government, and it's an unavoidable cycle. The opposition ideas will be silenced, but the scariest thing, and the thing of the modern world that might happen, is the fact that through technology it's possible that we will have permanent incollapsible communism, or, you know, the system that is worldwide or always surveilled, and it will be impossible for people to create revolutions, to create their own pockets of freedom. Just look at China, you know, and other nations like that. Look at North Korea. They're all starving, and there's, well, not China, but North Korea, you know, and there is no one that could resist because of the propaganda in media and whatever. Most people don't even know that there is like light at the end of the tunnel. If you're constantly lied about the world and everything else, how would you ever figure out the truth if you don't get access to the information? You know, it's literally impossible. And that's what Western corporate, you know, society of tyrannical government is trying to introduce and implement. A society that doesn't get free access to free, open-minded dialogue and information, and it's fucking scary. And we are headed that way, you know, and if anything, what you will learn, like with social media and everything else, these people who never studied, etc., they're so easy to manipulate, and, you know, they think that they know stuff. They think that they know the correct stuff, the right stuff, because they listen to the news. But when you shape the facts and change everything, and, you know, you put them in the news media, you will always end up with lies, and people will be misled. That's how you end up with Bolshevik revolutions and stuff like that, you know, just killing Christians, and everyone's okay with that, and no one is opposing. But Christians are always like very useful and easy to kill because, you know, they're like automatically set to be killed, and I guess that's alright, because it's not the Christians that are the problem. That was never the case. It was evil and bad people that get easily manipulated are the problem. And if they want this world, they're free to have it. I guess that's the idea, you know. Sooner or later, I guess humans will evolve if you believe in that, or you know, something will happen that will break us out of the cycle. But fuck, you know, I don't know how much blood will need to be spilled and how many times, because if this world like actually ends up in these evil hands of evil governments and people, like the Western world is becoming, and you have the China, it's gonna be evil side fighting an evil side. Like, you're more likely to actually like join up with Russia or whatever, you know. Just think, if you had at least one nation in the world, like in Europe, that would just give away free land to like white people specifically, let's say, you know, and white people would be free to farm and, you know, exist happily in that nation. I bet like half of the population of European Union and United States would fucking go to that country. It's that fucking simple. But there is not a single country that would do that. And that fucking blows my mind. You could become like, any country could become a very strong political power, kind of like Nazi Germany. Like any country that would give away its land, you know, and that would ramp up production through technology, etc. You would increase your population and everything else. But there is not a single country that wants to resist. All of the Western countries are following the same orders from the same place. Just look at the green passes. They exist in all of the nations, almost, like in the Western world. And that's so fucking scary. They didn't come up with that idea themselves. Like, they either copied that idea or they got orders to implement that idea through corporate pharma companies of the Western world that are trying to make shitloads of money, or whatever, in whatever conspiracy you believe. But it's not fucking natural for all governments to come up with the same fucking green pass from Australia to Lithuania to United States. There's obviously something there, and it's pretty obvious if you can fucking rub two of your neurons together that something is fucking not right here. And if anything, you know, the elites consider all of you to be pests and, you know, to be a burden on the world. So their interest might as well be, you know, the reduction of population. We don't even know. If they believe in global warming, if they believe in climate change, you know, maybe somewhere they came up with the idea that the best way to get rid of that, you know, problem is to get rid of humanity, because they're the things that cause the most troubles. And if you're in that club, if you're in with the in crowd of billionaires and politicians and people at the top, you might, you know, start doing some weird dark shit behind the scenes. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, I'm probably wrong, of course, but I like to speculate. I'm that kind of person, you know. So what I see in the media doesn't make any sense, and it makes me skeptical. And the longer I live, the more I see how much they hate a certain amount of population that think a certain way. And nowadays everyone's going against white people, and everyone's going against Christians, and everyone's going against conservatives and, you know, believers in conspiracies or whatever. But isn't that comfortable? Like, you can easily separate a population that are believers in conspiracies and religious folk with, you know, against the population that are just mindless normies who will do everything they were indoctrinated with in school and stuff. So, you know, and it's pretty easy to do it. And if I was to do it as a global elitist or whatever, I would do it the way they are doing it right now, you know, to separate the population one from the other. It's a war of beliefs. There are enough resources for everyone in the world. You have the technology to feed everyone already. But the problem is that they're gonna start multiplying. And, you know, elites don't want that. Because there are enough people in the world already, you know, and it's never gonna stop. But it's quite obvious what's fucking going on. You just need to fucking open your eyes. Like, politically and ideologically, there's a war against right-leaning individuals who believe in freedom. And media and everyone in the government and everyone in the world is fighting against those individuals. Through certain law restriction and implementations, you can easily separate. Like, okay, just go to any flat right now or whatever, ask any person if he's vaccinated or not, and you as a government employee or a government person will in an instant know what his political and ideological leanings are. If you ask a person in the street if he has a vaccine, you know, or not, if he's been vaccinated or not, you already know which kind of information they have access to. And it's fucking scary when you think about it. All it took for them was to just implement a vaccine. You know, maybe I'm talking from a schizophrenic perspective or paranoid perspective or whatever, but I'm fucking right. I make sense. It's true. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy to fucking see. It's kind of like in Soviet times. You're either with the party or not, and if you're not with the party, you're an enemy of the politicians, you know, of the party, of the state, and you need to go to a re-education camp or go to Siberia for some work. So, you know, enjoy the world you're gonna make for yourselves. The light at the end of the tunnel is the train. Why would I go to random flat? But leftists believes in freedom, just you have to believe in the same freedom as they do, or your enemy and you need to go to Siberia. Their freedom is hedonistic. Their freedom is not honest. They don't believe in freedom of thought and expression and saying words. All left did was, you know, implement freedom that's all about fucking whatever you want, or, you know, freedom that allows you to not say certain things. That's not freedom, that's control. That's control of free speech. But as it is written in the Bible, it is said that they come as wolves in sheep's clothing. And I really understand and see what is happening, you know, from this perspective. That's how they manipulate, and that's how they get into power. Be it the Jews, be it some other, you know, power structure or whatever. That is being used to brainwash, you know, people into, like, let's say tolerance, right? When everyone's saying, let's be tolerant to each other, it's like, through tolerance, you can destroy a nation. You can invite refugees, you can invite immigrants, you invite, you know, whatever. You can tolerate. The idea of, and the word tolerance, what does it mean, you know? You can tolerate a pedophile raping a child. You can tolerate it. You can tolerate and do nothing, just stand, you know, and watch a woman get raped. You can tolerate it. You can tolerate, you know, children having sex change operations, or, you know, changing their sex when they're like at the age of 4 or whatever. You can be tolerant, you can tolerate it. Like, where is the limit, you know? That's the biggest issue, you know? That's not freedom. And they use this tolerance to push forward their hedonistic means, their own and other people's hedonism. Like, look at what kind of ideologies and freedoms Western world picked up through leftism. Legalization of drugs, legalization of prostitution, legalization of everything that was considered horrible and wrong. But now society, you know, is okay with it. It wasn't conservatives that tried to keep the values of the society how it used to function throughout thousands of years. They weren't the ones, you know, saying that, oh, okay, it's okay to do this and do that. No, it was leftists. And through their tolerance and through their freedom is all about orgasming, you know? It's all about endorphins. And it's all about being sedated and doing nothing. Like, you can release your endorphins through training. Look at leftist media. It's all about body acceptance. Acceptance of, you know, being fat. Acceptance of being, you know, unhealthy. Of being gay or whatever. You know, it's like accepting everything as it comes. But you can accept murderers. You can accept pedophiles. You can accept literally anything. He was born this way, you know, his brain works to be a killer. He wants to kill people. He's a serial killer, just tolerate it. Like, it's such a fucking stupid idea. But, you know, since it's related to our orgasms and the release of good, you know, thoughts or energy, it's not good energy, it's not good thoughts, but, you know, people think that it's good because it makes them feel good. But it's like a monkey. It's primitive. It's going back. It's not pushing forwards. It's accessing the most primitive parts of your brain. It's like accessing what is pre-programmed by nature for you to enjoy, like coming, like becoming more and more degenerate, watching more and more degenerate pornography, which is free, enjoying drugs, you know, which is degenerate. Like, if you want to be as sharp as possible, if you want to be as good of a human, like, not necessarily, you know, in that perspective good as, you know, being good, but good as a creature, good as an animal, and both good as a freely thinking person with the freedom of choice and what you were created to be, you know, to make choices, the correct choices in life, you know. Everything is being undermined and everything is being destroyed by feminism, by these all ideologies that undermine everything, from family to sexuality to, you know, abusing drugs, to eating shit that is not healthy, to getting fat and just becoming a bumbling retard who is like has diabetes and cannot control himself. Meanwhile, you know, Nazis, they were always against that. Look at Nazi doctrine and what they were all about. If anything, China nowadays is extremely, you know, related to Nazi Germany when you think about it. The only problem is that, you know, there is no freedom in religion, there is no freedom in, you know, free thought. You're like a pre-programmed robot to work for the state and do certain things in certain ways, you know. But, you know, when it comes to being thin, everyone is pretty much thin in China. They're not overweight. They're not into this sexual degeneracy. They're all about family units. Well, not entirely. They're more about, you know, state units. But when it comes to nationalism, China is far more in that zone than the Western world. Because everything that their ancestors in the Western world, everything that was left by their ancestors is being destroyed by turning back into a degenerate monkey. And where that is gonna lead us, it's gonna lead us into a degenerate monkey society. It's gonna lead us into a collapse. Everyone's just looking for ways of how to enjoy everything, how to better them, not themselves, but, you know, how to feel good. Everyone's trying to feel good in Western society. Everyone's taking drugs, be it antidepressants, whatever. Even if you don't have any fucked up shit with your head, you will get prescribed some drugs that basically work like drugs. Some medicine that works like drugs, you know. Antidepressants can be considered like working like drugs, you know, if you look up how they work. And we live in this fucking shitty society which nobody knows the correct ways of how to solve people's problems, and everyone's chasing the next high. Everyone's posting on Facebook how awesome and how much they achieved and whatever, and in reality that's not what being human is all about. Like, for most of history it was mostly about suffering, being hungry, not being degenerate, and just biting your teeth and grinding until you die and whatever. But they're self-sabotaging. So there was the perfect time in America's history, like 50 to 70 years ago, when they had the perfect balance of everything. Economically, you know, spiritually, nationalistically, so on and so forth. But through poisonous ideology, through allowing everything for stupid people, you know, you end up with society that tolerates stupid stuff, and there is no opposition. You know why there is no opposition? Because opposition would tell those people that it's wrong to enjoy coming to degenerate stuff, that it's wrong even maybe just to come, or even just to eat food that tastes good, that's full of chemicals and horrible shit. It's bad to drink water, it's bad to be fat, it's bad to be, you know, whatever. It's bad to take drugs, prostitution is bad, you know. You need some higher calling in life, be it spiritual or whatever. But all of these hedonistic degenerates are already brainwashed and pre-programmed to enjoy stuff. So what happens when you take away a candy from a baby or a child? You end up with a crying baby who's gonna start smashing stuff all around him. And that's Western society nowadays. Everyone's living in this bubble of coming, perpetually coming, through medicine or through anything else. They just want to constantly feel good. And if they want a fix to themselves and to society, it's extremely simple. Just stop fucking being degenerate and stop being brainwashed by stupid ideologies. There is no racism, there is no sexism. Police are doing their jobs. Everything is working well. Go start a business of building houses. If, you know, houses cost a lot, bring down the price of that shit. Repair your fucking industries. Restart your manufacturing businesses. Become a self-sustaining country, and that is important to every country, you know. It starts with the person and it grows out into the country, it grows out into the politics, it grows out into the freedom. But everyone in the West is sedated, and it's horrifying. It's very scary because the West is heading for a collapse and there is no stopping it. No one is pressing on the brakes, because if anyone is trying to press on the brakes, everyone jumps on that person and says, oh, you're intolerant, you're this, you're fucked up, that's incorrect, you cannot say this. You know, you people deserve that kind of future you're gonna get. Like, it's that simple. And you're gonna get it, it's coming. Because no one stood up, no one ever said anything. And even if there was some kind of opposition, you yourselves destroyed it. And it's gonna be too late once people see what is actually happening. The world is not simple, you know, nobody thinks in these terms. Maybe they do, of course there are some, you know, fringes or very low percentage of society, or maybe people just don't want to, you know, speak out. It's probably not even that low. It's maybe like 50% of society still hasn't lost their minds. But, you know, they might not accept things for one or the other reason. And these pre-programmed monkeys who are alcoholics and everything else, they're just trying to come. They're just looking for the next high. And they're destroying themselves and society. And in a way, they will reduce their own population and all of our population through this way. But, you know, then again, you know, most degenerate people are having more children than intellectual people. So I don't know where this shit is gonna stop, but I don't know. It seems like the West is just pre-programmed right now to head down the cliff. And if anyone has some sense, he's getting destroyed by the media, by college, communistic professors, etc. Human life and value is starting to lose its worth, obviously. And there is no one left who believes in souls and higher, you know, worth of a human being compared to an animal. The humanization is rampant in our society, and when people lose respect for each other and lose respect for, you know, society and life and whatever, America will just become Africa. What's happening in Africa is gonna happen in America. There will be, you know, warlords, little pockets, and infighting for power. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna collapse into a civil war. With Europe, it's not as bad, because Europe still has their own nationalistic identities, but there are many European countries that have the immigrant crisis and stuff, you know, people from abroad coming in with their own values, and they might overtake the Alden population. Population is a weapon, and it can be used as a weapon, and no one in Western white countries are looking for ways to increase their birth rates and to increase their population, their national population. They are looking for ways to get as many immigrants as they can. Enjoy. You know, we, the West, and Asians are the only chance for human species. All other societies so far have failed dramatically. It's like, what is it called? The Great Filter that doesn't allow societies to progress to next stages. It's possible that that's the Great Filter, you know, tolerance. Too much of it. Because, you know, every organism has the idea of self-preservation, and that's what nations were throughout history. They were fighting, self-preserving, evolving their weapons, etc. And now, when you have globalistic world in which governments control everything, and you have these races who are all equal and just bland mass, sooner or later, I guess that globalistic communistic society will become extremely stupid and collapse. But they might start genetically engineering, you know, superhumans, so then, and pre-programming them to be good slaves to the state. So it's like the Jewish golem. But a Jewish golem in the story also got free from its master. And once it got free, it destroyed the master. But the problem and the idea and where the world is heading is this. There might not be any more chances for revolution anymore if they manage to control everything. And that's when human society will be destroyed, freedom will be destroyed, and the whole world will become corporate with party at the top enjoying, you know, their slaves And if slave ever gets out of line, even if slave has a thought that is against their narrative, that slave will just be taken care of and just destroyed. And that's what Western society is heading for, and that's what they want. I need to pour in some water. And that's why you should be worried about, you know, passes, like green passes and shit like that. Not because you should... The least of your worries is the disease. That's the least of your worries. The tyrannical government is the main priority. The technocratic elite that might be coming up. That's the thing that you should be worrying about. Not the fucking, you know, disease that has a survival rate of 99.99%. BRB. Except leader of China, he is fat and probably degenerate. I don't know, he's not that fat. In communistic countries, leaders always live good lives. That's the party system. They always talk about equality, you know, and all that, but they become the new ruling class. They become the new elite, so they live like an elite. But there is no way to remove them except for a revolution. So that's why it's that scary.
I'll bet my little flat friend can get in there.
Is that a penny over there? Ew, dusty.
China is a country that has the biggest world population. Think about it. And they cannot elect or oppose a communistic system. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they're all living very well. But that's not the case. Fuck. They work very horrible hours. And they're just constantly getting fucked. They could get better rights, they could fight, but they're not interested in that. And also, you know, they would probably lose their lives. So as long as people are not starving and as long as they know that they can just bite a pillow when the communist government is going in dry, they will bite the pillow, you know, for the best of their own selves, for self-preservation. They will comply, kinda like the Western world also. So there are many parallels in human psychology with the Western world and the Chinese world and the communistic ideology and, you know, the way the stuff is run. That's because they're not actually running the real communistic society. If anything, it feels like Chinese are socialistic, capitalistic. That's what they are. The only thing that's communistic about them is their party that doesn't get out of the way ever.
Hey, could you just open the door now and I could come back later with an egg?
Sorry, kid, I'm a professional propagandaneer. Good faith is not one of the tools in my belt.
I'll take this nugget.
Are you doing this on purpose? Don't worry, that's insured. Oh, this is all gonna be deducted from my paycheck. Careful now. Oh my, please be careful.
What egg do I put in there? What the fuck? This is supposed to be a kid's game, not a politics game. No.
Lily, do you see any controls for a giant painted mural with props?
I see something called Glovian Diasporama. It has buttons for scenery, props, and heroes.
Can we alter the props?
Yep. You want cacti, fish, maybe some trees?
I think what this needs is some fish.
I guess.
I think some cacti would really set the mood.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Those trees are ruining it. Get rid of them.
Why not?
I want to change something else, I think.
Figures.
Let's change the scenery.
Okay. There are buttons for Arctic Exile, Adrift at Sea, and Desert Wasteland.
How about Desert Wasteland?
Okay.
Show me Adrift at Sea, could you?
I guess.
I think I want to change something else now.
Whatever.
Could you move the family for me?
Sure. Where do you want them? Stage left, right, or center?
I think we should move the family to stage right.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Okay, I don't want to think about that family anymore.
Me either.
Let's change the scenery.
Okay. There are buttons for Arctic Exile, Adrift at Sea, and Desert Wasteland.
Let's see Arctic Exile, please.
I guess.
I think I want to change something else now.
What am I doing? But then again, I want to, you know, recuperate that it's not degenerate to be fat, you know, it's alright, but you know, the Western world, the way the acceptance movement was pushed, that, you know, my body, no, what was it called? Like fat acceptance, like fat is beautiful, and the way the models got replaced by fat women, it's fucking ridiculous, you know. Women always had a beauty standard, and now it's like, oh, men are supposed to find fat women attractive. What the fuck is that? You know, and shit like that. Let's talk about Hitler. You know, as a leader, he was lean and all that. But why did he pop out? You know, how hard were the Germans back in the day? The answer is this. Hitler survived the First World War. He was like... He fought in wars. So what did he wanted to be a painter and shit, you know? But it's like... Germans were tough men. They were used to combat. The world was shitty. You know, and Mussolini and Hitler, etc. and most of those leaders that went through the Europe, like we also had this like dictator-like government and a person that was, you know, ruling the nation. It seems like everyone in Europe back in the day wanted a dictator, and all political systems just went after that, you know, after a dictator. So it's like everyone's fucking copying, pasting everyone all the time. Shit's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, you know, nowadays I don't know where that kind of man and where that kind of thinking would come from. Everything needs to pretty much just collapse so that Zoomers could die or become, you know, strong. And then maybe then they could oppose and form new governments and shit. But I think before that happens, white population might just collapse and we might never again have a world that's like evolved enough spiritually and, you know, in political way of thinking to create a democracy, to create laws and to create a system like that. If people won't have enough IQ and if they will start seeing high IQ as weakness, we will just go back to monkey and everyone will just be fighting for power basically. People aren't uniting anymore. They are fighting. They are looking for problems and troubles. You know, they're looking for sins in each other. And those sins are illogical and not even real. Because society is changing the definition of everything all the time, and what was acceptable 20 years ago is no longer acceptable, and soon nothing will be acceptable that is related to free speech or anything like that. Whatever the state or the media will tell you, you will have to repeat it, kinda like in communist China. Do you have any good friends which are leaning to leftism? The problem with people like that is that they cannot really be trusted. They usually change their mind all the time, and even if you show them the truth, they just end up going to where the money is or where it's more useful for them ideologically. If you don't have anything to offer for them, only the truth, they don't want it. They want to жрать. They want to eat. They want to have a good life. They want to, you know, higher humanistic ideals or, you know, that kind of shit. They're not interested in that. They're more interested in surviving. You know, communism and, you know, tattletaling and snitching wouldn't work if humans fundamentally weren't interested in self-preservation and getting stuff. But, you know, people that I was very good friends with, they couldn't tolerate my political views. They were just visiting Reddit or visiting these leftism leaning medias or just listening to news, and they just would end up being extremely aggressive towards me. when I was the one being tolerant and trying to, you know, show them the information and show them everything, to show them how it really was, they were the ones having aggressive reaction towards me. So that's very interesting. As long, you know, left always says that they're extremely tolerant, that they're, you know, accepting of everyone, unless you have opposing opinion from them, then they no longer accept you. So they are willing to kill you. Like, they are willing to get rid of dissidents, kind of like communists are, you know. They're okay with destroying lives and shit like that. I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened to me, no. I'm just saying that, you know, their moral compass allows them to do that. If the right wing, if the conservatives and right-leaning people were intolerant, they would be starting the witch hunts and destroying the leftist media and, you know, lefties overall. But there is no opposition coming from conservatives. They're just bending over and taking it. So, you know, who's the real tolerant side? It's pretty obvious. Because left keeps pushing forwards and no one is opposing, or they don't want to listen to, you know, the voice inside their heads, or just logical voices telling them something. They'd rather just become drugged out degenerates. Good night, Dad. Good night, Duvo. Have a great rest. So, you know, it's also a very good gauge to gauge out people you will be able to be friends with. If people, you know, tell you that they're Christians or whatever, you know, and then they just turn around and swallow any other ideology. If they're like this, you know, they're swinging from left to right, they don't really have an ideology. They're just looking for what's best for them. And, you know, I wouldn't go to war with that kind of person. Like, I wouldn't want to die for that kind of person. So usually I just try to not surround myself with that kind of people. You know, if I meet a leftist or whatever, he might just be indoctrinated, so I usually try to change their minds, you know. And if that doesn't work, it's pretty obvious that it's never gonna work. They're just like that. And I'm not gonna waste my life and time with people like that. They're just free to go their own way, you know, and I wish the best for them. And sooner or later they will see that, you know, it's not right what they believed in and what they followed, because there is no other way. It's pre-programmed. It's pre-program yourself to failure, kind of like accepting a communistic system in your country. But that happens on a small scale. And on the other hand, there are always people who are resisting. So sometimes it's easier to be friends with that kind of people than people who might betray you, than people who are like Judases that would sell you for 13 pieces of silver or however much it was. But it's also very fascinating to see, and it's also very cool that you are free to select your friends. I don't want to have like 100 friends. That's literally impossible, and I just don't want. There's no reason for anyone to have 100 friends. But, you know, if I'm gonna choose a few people, if I'm gonna have a few friends in my life, I'd rather have people who are not brainwashed and are possible to talk to about everything, you know. Even if they don't agree with me, you know, that's all right. We're all different. But there are some people who are aggressively, for no reason, opposing you, even if you want best for them, even if they know the truth. And that kind of people, they would sell everything for money. And you know, if I have this aggressive, irrational reaction to my political or ideological, you know, leanings or my beliefs, I will try to change them once. And you know, if they themselves don't understand what they're doing, there's nothing that can help them. Only they themselves can help them. But I guess that means that they just need to grow as individuals. And until they have grown enough as individuals, there is no reason to try to even befriend them or just, you know, communicate with them. I'm using the worst words for this. I'm not finding better words for this, you know, but it's like, I guess I'm acting like a person who tolerates gay people. Back when, you know, gay people were tolerated in a way like, okay, as long as they don't, you know, interact with me or interact with my family or society, they can do whatever they want in their own little dark rooms. They're free to fuck each other's asses. As long as that doesn't, you know, affect me or society, I don't care about that. So that's what I'm doing on a little scale, you know. As long as they, you know, want to tolerate all that bullshit, you know, go and do your own stuff. That doesn't affect me, and I'm not interested in what you have to say. You know, I will listen to what you have to say, but I will know that your information is at this point already old. You're a normie, you don't know shit about world, suck my dick. That will be my opinion. And there are fucking normies everywhere. Normies are cancer killing humanity. No, just kidding. But these illogicals are not really stupid, but it's like people who don't want to think are everywhere. And they always think that they know better. So just let them know better. You know, it's like, knock yourselves out. It's difficult to find humans that think like you, and it's quite difficult to form relationships that last a long time, and it's quite difficult to basically, yeah, it's pretty much difficult, especially in today's climate, to find free-thinking, right-leaning individuals, because everyone else are so easily affected and brainwashed. And when you find friends like that, you can be pretty much sure that that kind of person is more likely to die for you as much as you are likely to die for him. If that makes sense. So when you're forming these friendships and these societal bonds, you don't want a snake in your group, you know? You really need to gouge out and to know people, to know what kind of people they are. Sometimes you might even need to test them out one way or the other to find out what they really are like inside. And once you find people like that, that are like you can even start little parties, little communities, you know, and finding like-minded people can change society and the world. And that's what I believe in, you know, just finding the right people. No one is inherently evil, but some people are just evil for the sake of being evil, even if you show them everything, and they just continue living in their little bubble. As long as they, you know, get their hedonistic jacking off or their money or whatever else. You know, they're willing to sell everything, their parents, their country, their souls, whatever, to get money or get further in life. And they will just step on truth. And that kind of people I don't like, and I don't want to surround myself with. It's not working for right wing very well. Yes. I think a very big issue is this, you know, there's this thing, separation of church and state. Basically you have church that is separated from the state, from the taxes and everything else. It's like religious freedom, right? And half of the population, let's say, is religious. They are Christian. And in politics, you have these conservatives that form like half of the population votes and everything else, like 50%, right? But in politics, you probably shouldn't even have like weak conservatistic way of rule. If you have separated religion, like separated church and state, you should probably also separate Christianity from conservatism. And if the left is accelerating in such a way that they are already doing communism and they want to implement communism and control free speech and everything else, you should just evolve Conservative Party into nationalistic Nazi party. It's only fair, so that there's fair, you know, backlash. But the problem is that once one or the other side wins, there's no chance of free and peaceful election ever again. Because in the West world, now that Democrats have won illegally, there's a very high chance that we will never have, you know, conservative backlash, and we might have permanent democratic re-elections, and they might even seize the power, they might even seize the government. The same would happen with the Nazi party, you know. And sooner or later, the longer democracy lasts, sooner or later you will get these parties, kind of like the Nazi party in Germany or communistic party in other countries, that they get elected and they just destroy the system and they no longer allow elections. So Trump had the chance in 2016, and in January 6th Congress, whatever it was, terroristic act so-called, or you know, attempted revolution, the conservatives, the right-leaning America, they had a chance to take over the America. And then the left sprang back by falsifying the elections. So there was a chance. And there is still a chance, you know, there's always a chance, but if you don't do it through politics, you will do it through weapons. And the right-leaning people will win 100% because they have the guns, they have the food, they have the countries. Liberals live in cities, they live in their own bubbles. They are not self-sustaining. They imagine that they're fucking amazing, super duper, you know, whatever, main characters in their video games or in their Marvel movies or whatever. But they will get their ass kicked so bad, they will go back to fucking Middle Ages. And conservatives, they own the technology, they own everything. They're smart, they can produce stuff themselves, they have the spirit and everything else. if there ever was a civil war in America or any other Western nation, the right-leaning people will always win. The biggest issue is that in America the military is being taken over by leftists, and that's what is so scary. Hard life and reality will hit leftist, and she will change probably after hitting 40s and 50s. There is this very nice saying that I really like. I don't know who said it, but it goes like this. If you're not a leftist in your teenage years, you have no heart. And if you're not a conservative in later life, you have no brain. So, you know, it always goes like that. Older people always vote for rule of law, for non-degeneracy, for conservatives, for a society that functions. Young people are easily swayed and manipulated by their emotions and media. I think that young people are also affected by this because that throughout their life, as long as it was, as short as it was, like 18 years or something, they were owned by their parents. They were always told what to do. They were, you know, told what to believe in at school. So they will go out into the real world and they vote for what they hear and what is normalized in society. So they're easily manipulated by media and their friends and social media to vote a certain way. And social media also makes sure, and elites make sure, and whoever makes sure, that people remain children mentally for as long as possible, so that they could pretty much vote for left-leaning ideologies. Kinda like the idea of free shit and all that. So it's beneficial for Democrats and that kind of governments to reduce voting age, to prevent people from needing passports for voting and other stuff. It's very smart and logical political manipulation was happening in the Western world. Both parties are using the best weapons, the best things they have. But the left might push too far because their ideology and their, you know, view of the world is actually like a teenager's view of the world. So they don't really understand how the world actually works, and they live in their own created utopia. And once push comes to shove, and you know, the might makes right again in the Western world, kind of like it was in Soviet Russia, all these Zoomers and all of these young people will just get a reality check that will make them change their minds sooner or later. But I think that the West will need to experience a complete collapse. There is no other way. And it's very sad, because if the Western societies and world collapse, there will be other power struggles and other power structures replacing them. So that means Russia being hungry, China being hungry, and Germany and everyone in Europe being hungry again. If America falls, the consequences for Europe and the whole world is gonna be horrifying. So that's why it's so important to always politically, you know, look at America and what they're doing. The leftist ideology, probably pushed by communists, of China or whatever. It's destroying the Western values and the Western society and the Western world. And on the other hand, we don't really know how powerful China is really, because they might actually be very, very weak. So it might not be only America collapsing, it might be China collapsing from within but never expressing it, kind of like with Soviet Union, you know. And it's possible that, you know, Russia or somebody else unexpectedly might become the world's next superpower. World in history is very weird. Whatever political and historical experts predict usually doesn't come true. Maybe the next superpower is Brazil? Who the fuck knows? Shit is very fucking interesting and weird. What am I doing here? Changing scenery?
Can we alter the props?
Yep. You want cacti? Fish? Maybe some trees?
Let's add some trees.
Why not?
Let's lose the cactus.
Interesting choice.
Nix the fish.
Interesting choice.
I want to change something else, I think.
Figures.
Could you move the family for me?
Sure. Where do you want them? Stage left, right, or center?
Let's put the family stage left.
I was just thinking the same thing.
It feels like that China is really strong, I don't know why. That's probably because they have all the manufacturing ability. I don't know why, but I'm so fucking afraid of China. They control everything, technology, manufacturing and shit. It will take a long time to move manufacturing to other countries. Numbers are so fucking big, yes. That's the big downfall of the world, of the Western world. They wanted globalism so much, like the secret organizations and, you know, these bullshit ass societies, these politicians that were pushing for globalism. They wanted to take over the world through globalistic capitalism, and Western corporations try to move their factories abroad. But what that ended up making was it made China strong, and it's very scary for that reason. And now the West has nothing because they were pursuing money so much. And you know, the chip manufacturer of the world is set in Taiwan, so they have a reason to protect it. And basically the idea and the tactic of collapsing China through them opening up to Western world and Western economies and Western ideology and Western idea of thinking and politics just fell flat on their asses. And if the Western world was going va-bank and just gambling everything upon that tactic and that idea, that's fucking stupid as fuck. And they pretty much deserve it. The most important thing for every nation is to be self-sufficient. And America will probably survive. They have a lot of resources and everything else, but they will probably need some cleaning up to do. And until then, China might make some interesting moves. They might even go to Siberia and take over those lands. Something unexpected might happen. But China needs farmable land and it needs resources. So yeah, they're buying out the whole world, they're controlling a lot of shit, and it seems like China flipped over globalism on the Western world's heads, and they actually took over globalism. They infiltrated globalism, and they turned their weakness into their strength. So, you know, through printing money, through manipulating stocks and everything else, they managed to buy out a lot of Western companies and a lot of Western company shares. So now they can easily pump out propaganda everywhere, in United Nations, in World Health Organization, in Disney, in media, everywhere. They can even stop freights. They can even like stop ships from disembarking in the shores because they control the trade routes. They have tremendous amount of control, and it's funny that Lithuania doesn't realize it, and they are actually like trying to fight China. Our politicians and our government is extremely low IQ. They're fucking stupid. I don't know what the fuck they're smoking.
Okay, I don't want to think about that family anymore.
Me either.
Okay, that's enough for now. Thanks, Lily.
Bye, Roz.
Got the first tag.
I need me fucking egg.
What's that sound? Lily, can you change that projector screen again?
Sure. It has buttons for scenery, props.
Let's change the scenery.
Okay. There are buttons for Arctic Exile, Adrift at Sea, and Desert Wasteland.
How about Desert Wasteland?
Okay.
I think I want to change something else now.
Whatever.
Okay, that's enough for now. Thanks, Lily.
Bye, Roz.
You're gonna be stuck here forever. That's not the egg.
Lily, can you change that projector screen again?
Sure. It has buttons for...
Let's change the scenery.
Okay. There are buttons for Arctic Exile, Adrift at Sea, and Desert Wasteland.
Show me Adrift at Sea, could you?
I guess.
So going to finish the game today, huh? Sarcasm.
I think
yeah.
I want to change something else now.
Whatever.
Maybe it's for the best.
Okay, that's enough for now. Thanks, Lily.
Bye, Roz.
I think that goat is not allowing me to get to the hole.
Yep. Lily, can you change that projector screen again?
Sure. It has.
I think Lily is getting pissed.
Could you move the family for me?
Sure. Where do you want them? Stage left, right, or center?
The center.
Front and center. I think that's where Crystal would like his family.
I guess.
Okay, I don't want to think about that family anymore.
Me either.
Can we alter the props?
Yep. You want cacti, fish, maybe some trees?
Trees need to go.
Those trees are ruining it. Get rid of them.
Why not?
I think some cacti would really set the mood.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I want to
I
change
think this will
something
do.
else, I think.
Figures.
I'm not sure what is happening in the game.
Okay,
I'm
that's
trying
enough
to
for
get
now.
to the hole.
Thanks, Lily.
Bye, Roz.
I'm building platforms. I'm also gay. Oh, cock. Oh, fuck. I know that I could change, like, the scenery to fishes probably, and that would help. But fuck that. Oh, you fucking cock. You fucking cock.
I know where I am. This is the Lady Luctopus. The Maliks must have lived at the casino for a while, suffering in exile. Ha!
Huh.
Lily, there's a room here just like the one we found on the mission to the casino. The delusionist was Crystal.
So that's why Nick had a Luctopus key in his pocket. He was living there.
Yeah, in exile.
Ooh, that means he's the one who wrote the creepy note about me.
He's here, Crystal.
Really?
Wait a second. Huh. Hey! Why the long face?
My father died today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be. He ruined my life. And if it weren't for him, I'd be the Tsar of Grulovia. Believe it or not. Instead, I'm homeless.
I don't know. This place looks pretty nice.
Ha! Good one. Hey, kid. There's something about you I like. Are you, by any chance, of Grulovian blood?
Half.
Half-blood will have to do. Come, and let us toast to the fatherland. Hey, want some caviar?
As he likes his ass. Nice. I like ass. Depends what exactly is ass. I don't know, I've never had ass. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Great! It's my treat.
Well, since you put it that way...
You won't regret it. I mean, look at these eggs.
Maybe I'll have just one.
I don't think one is gonna do the trick.
We'll see.
That's the egg I need. That was easy. Hey ho. This is so Russia. This egg looks like those Soviet toys on the Christmas tree. It's okay. It's okay. Nailed it. Don't do this at home. Okay. Oh fuck. That egg is so slow. Oh, you fucking... Uh-oh, I'm gonna die. Easy.
Treasure room before anyone sees what you did! Oh, my poor Theodore!
We killed everyone. Good. Rasputin has committed mass genocide today. He's a war criminal now.
That's right. Right through here.
Yeah.
Perfect! Now please leave before you break anything else.
Easy. Now we can swim
Oh, this is all
forwards.
gonna be deducted from my paycheck.
All that.
This is a meter. Ready to roll.
Yeah, this is so Russia. Wait, does that mean... okay, he's from Grilovia, and I think Rasputin is also... well, the name implies that, but I guess that means that Rasputin is Russian. So they are actually making fun of communism. Even the statue, it's like the statue of Stalin. I just said that as a joke, but...
Young Bristol Malik embarked on his heroic mission to scour the earth for Maligula, and with her, restore glory to Grulovia. He hunted down Ford the Fraud Cruller, but found him to be a broken man, obviously tortured by the misdeeds of his past. Undaunted, Crystal Malik dove straight into the belly of the beast itself, infiltrating the Psychonauts in their filthy lair.
No, yeah, so he's like a KGB spy.
Once insinuated into their organization, the Cesarovich quickly rose to power, replacing the very head of the spy ring.
Lily, I found Crystal's memory of stealing your father's brain.
Does he show what he did with it?
No, it's just a weird puppet show now. Hey, wait. I'm in this one.
He found their organization ridiculously easy to manipulate. Some of their most trusted agents were mere children, easily controlled by Puppet Master Malik.
Super creepy. Uh-oh. Whoa! What the? Ow! Hey, this ride's not safe at all.
This is where I keep my secret N-word.
Now,
Damn. I eat ass. I fuck man ass. I'm just gonna swing at the air.
Is in session.
I could really use a side pop about now.
Not that little Malik.
Those side pops are good. And good for you.
Shy pops.
My baby!
Damn, I eat ass.
I just want to find that cart and get back on the ride again. must be the moment where Lobato stole Agent Zanotto's brain. Creepy. So Crystal Malik was the one who hired you to swap his brain in for Truman's?
I'll never tell.
I'm literally watching you do it right now. Where did you put Truman's brain?
I'll never tell.
Come on!
I'll never tell.
Tell me where you put the brain. You cock monkey. Fighting feels easy. It is.
Some weird stuff off the ride and...
Raz, we're chasing Crystal Malik, remember? We're not having fun at an amusement park.
I'm headed back to the cart now.
Super duper secret. A land without caviar. Blah 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 problems, I'm dumb. So he escaped to America. There's fuck all here. I have already been here. Why am I here again? I'm retarded?
Yep, I think I hear some emotional baggage nearby. I need the steamer trunk tag for this guy.
Steamed hams.
What's that sound?
I'll never tell.
Okay, okay. Here's the steamer trunk tag. Get me out of this creepy place.
Okay, it looks like you're catching up with Crystal. Keep a lookout for him.
I'm getting sleepy and it is 12:30, and thank you for the stream and chat, but I need to go. Okay, then both of us must go. 4 minutes. Fuck. We lost 4 minutes. So thanks for watching. That was Proto Man 2 Escape from Mega Man City. A man has fallen in the sea in the Lego City. Good night. Good night, Kasukas. Thank you for being here. And dude, good night. Have a great rest. And I guess I'll go and play some poker and kill myself. Good night. Have a great rest. Love you. Thanks for being here. Maybe we'll complete this fucking game tomorrow, huh? And then we'll spin the wheel and we'll get Diablo.